What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another SCP video. This is your host, me, Juice. How's it going? That was a weird intro, but okay, so today I was going to react to more 096 stuff. I was going to react to the Exploring Series one, which I believe is like 40-something minutes, but I was like, whoa. I was like, I'll get to that at some other time because that's going to have to most likely be a two-parter just to keep the videos around 20 minutes. But I heard somebody in my comments of the last video say that the SCP-173 is a lot like the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who. And I was like, oh! So I had to react to it. Now, a lot of people did suggest the Rubber to react to some videos for the Rubber. So we're checking out this animated video from the Rubber. And then, since it's only about 6 minutes, I'm also going to check out the Volgun to kind of get the information about 173. So we're going to go ahead and check that out right now. It's going to be 2 videos in one, and it's still probably shorter than a lot of the other videos we watch. So we're going to go ahead and check this out right now. Of course, before we jump into this, if you've been enjoying these videos, hit that subscribe button because 93% of you are not subscribed. All right, I have a lot of energy today. It's Friday. I'm having a good day. I hope you are too. Let's go ahead and react to this.
Then John heard the worst sound any human being had ever heard.
He farted.
A sneeze, coming from 6 inches
close
behind his head. For a second, John remembered an episode of Mythbusters he had seen before being arrested, before coming here, where they tested to see if someone could sneeze with his eyes open. And yep, he never saw the end. There was a sick, wet thud, a horrible ripping sound, and a scream that ended too quickly. John didn't even have a chance to turn around and look over. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you a SCP Foundation Euclid class object, SCP-173.
Cool.
SCP-173 is animate and extremely hostile. It moved to the SCP Foundation in 1993, but its origins are unknown to this day. SCP-173 is constructed from concrete and rebar with traces of Krylon brand spray paint. SCP-173 is completely still while in an organism's field of vision, only moving when it isn't being watched, even if the observer simply blinks or barely looks off the object. Just when the observer blinks, SCP-173 will make a grindstone sound and move forward a short distance quickly. Despite the fact that it is a statue, SCP-173 can move fast enough to travel several feet in the time it takes for the human eye to reopen after blinking. It can literally move faster than the blink of an eye. It will advance towards its target until it is in range, then snaps its victim's neck. Object is reported to attack by snapping the neck at the base of the skull, or by strangulation. SCP-173 is apparently strong enough to snap the neck of a fully grown man almost instantly, although exactly how it does this is unknown. However, the creature is rendered completely immobile for as long as it's in an organism's sight. Therefore, personnel assigned to enter container are instructed to alert one another before blinking. Personnel report sounds of scraping stone originating from within the container when no one is present inside. However, this is considered normal. The reddish-brown substance on the floor is a combination of feces and blood, but so far, the source of these materials is still unknown. And due to the increasing amount of reddish-brown material, its enclosure must be cleaned on a bi-weekly basis. Being constructed of concrete and rebar, SCP-173 is incredibly durable, able to hold itself in a fight against SCP-682. SCP-682 is a massive reptilian beast with almost unlimited regenerative powers that is widely considered the most adaptive and durable SCP the Foundation contains. If you want to know more about SCP-682, you can click on this video in the upper right corner. Back to 173. So the Foundation personnel arrange...
In the SCP universe, do they test these things out? Like, they're like, hey, let's see how strong it is. Let's have it fight another SCP. Now, I don't know the number of it, but I know there's that little gelatinous blob that apparently makes everybody really happy. I know I saw that they said they use that to kind of calm down other SCPs, which I think is very interesting. But do they ever throw them in a death match and just see who wins like this?
Arranged a battle with 682 in order to test the durability of 173. And from that day on, it inspires great fear in 682. Because SCP-173 is an extremely dangerous object, hence is to be kept in a locked container at all times. When personnel must enter SCP-173's container, no fewer than 3 may enter at any time, and the door is to be relocked behind them. At all times, 2 persons must maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173 until all personnel have vacated and relocked the container. And now, probably the scariest thing is that 173 seems to have started its reproduction. Here's one of the recordings of personnel's in 173's containment. "What are you looking at?" John Avery, presently known as D5933, shouted at the other D-Class personnel in the cell. "SCP-173, what are you looking at?" came the reply. This worried John, as he was staring intently at SCP-173, and the other D-Class personnel was standing behind John, facing the other direction. Then, John heard the worst sound any human being had ever heard, a sneeze, coming from 6 inches behind his head. For a second, John remembered an episode of Mythbusters he had seen before being arrested, before coming here, where they tested to see if someone could sneeze with his eyes open. And yep, he never saw the end. There was a sick, wet thud, a horrible ripping sound, and a scream that ended too quickly. John didn't even have a chance to turn around and look over. From SCP-173's Addendum 1, it was written that SCP-173 appeared to multiply, producing 2 identical copies. 2 D-Class personnel were killed. It is unknown how this process occurred. Each instance of SCP-173, now labeled SCP-173-1 and SCP-173-2, is to be moved to individual cells, each following original containment procedures. In Addendum 2, it was noted down that a second multiplication event occurred. SCP-173-1 through 4 are to be each contained as per original containment procedures. Objects reclassed as Keter. And in the Addendum 3, at least 61 copies of SCP-173 are as of now unaccounted for. It is unknown how they replicated so fast, or how they replicate at all. Video evidence of the containment breach shows multiple instances of SCP-173 working in unison across multiple cells to achieve the breach. Most of the instances still in captivity appear to have formed a rear guard, blocking Foundation agents from pursuing other instances. It is theorized that SCP-173 has a hive intelligence, where intelligence scales with number of nearby copies. SCP-173 has caused a breach of secrecy for the SCP Foundation. Estimates at this time are roughly 500,000 civilian deaths across North America in the last 48 hours due to SCP-173, and hundreds of thousands of sightings and pieces of video evidence. Major television news programs have obtained video of SCP-173 and are providing instructions for avoiding instant death. And following saturation nuclear bombing on number of SCP-173 instances has been reduced. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Have you ever heard or encountered any paranormal event? Let us know in the comment below. We will draw your...
Yes, I saw a chupacabra. I'm not kidding. Anyways... Freaking, question though. 173. Can you film it the whole time? Like, you would assume, right? So, like, if you have the 3 doctors going into the lab, and 2 of them have to keep their eyes on it at all times, could you not have a guard, like, on the outside in a security room with a security camera there, watching it? Would that not... Now, see, here's the thing. When it comes to Doctor Who, the Weeping Angels, they, from the lore of the Weeping Angels, anything that has the picture of a Weeping Angel becomes a Weeping Angel. So if you have, like, video, the video turns into a Weeping Angel, so meaning that Weeping Angel in that video can get you as well, or come out of the actual video. It's in an episode, which is pretty crazy, because then video, you can't, it's not a way to get around the, you know, the power of a Weeping Angel. So it is the same thing happen with 173. Very curious if anybody's ever talked about that. The multiplying thing is insane. But I know Weeping Angels can heal with, they can heal with some type of energy. I forget what it's called at the moment, but I love the Weeping Angels. I think they're fantastic. So 173 sounds awesome, except for the pooping everywhere and snapping them necks. That's kind of gangster. But I like this. So we're going to check out the Volgun, where a lot of people have told me the Volgun's reading straight from the wiki. So we're going to go ahead and check that out to learn some more stuff right now. Oh, Volgun time! The sculpture. I love his intro. It's pretty dope.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-173. Object Class: Euclid.
Euclid.
Special Containment Procedures. Item SCP-173 is to be kept in a locked container at all times. When personnel must enter SCP-173's container, no fewer than 3 may enter at any time, and the door is to be relocked behind them. At all times, 2 persons must maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173 until all personnel have vacated and relocked the container. Description: moved to Site 19 in 1993, origin is as of yet unknown. It is constructed from concrete and rebar with traces of Krylon brand spray paint. SCP-173 is animate and extremely hostile. The object cannot move while within a direct line of sight. Line of sight must not be broken at any time with SCP-173.
Is this going to be the same video? The other one's just animated? Like, are they legitimately like that? I just want to make sure that I'm not boring you guys with content. Because I know Volgun does it straight. I know nothing about the Rubber. I thought they just animated stuff. But we'll keep watching. You guys can let me know how I should do things in the future. SCP is still getting pretty used to it. But we'll keep going just to see if there's anything new that I haven't seen.
Personnel assigned to enter container are instructed to alert one another before blinking.
Yeah, we saw that.
Object is reported to attack by snapping the neck at the base of the skull.
Don't look at me.
Or by strangulation. In the event of an attack, personnel are to observe Class 4 hazardous object containment procedures.
So I don't know
Personnel
what that is.
report sounds of scraping stone originating from within the container when no one is present inside. This is considered normal, and any change in this behavior should be reported to the acting HMCL supervisor on duty.
So is this like literally word for word? So if I go to the wiki right now, is it going to be everything he has right here on the side of this video? Because I've went and checked out some of the wikis, but I'm trying not to spoil a lot for myself. But because I want to get a feel for the writing, because I would love to. I think it would be really cool after I learn and absorb enough SCP to try to write one. As somebody who is a writer themselves, I would love to try to find out the format, think of something creative, and try to write one. Especially, I think it would be a cool thing, especially on this channel, to be like, yeah, guys, this is what I'm writing, and then maybe get input on it, and then maybe see what happens in the future with it. I think that'd be really cool, but I don't know, just let me know.
The reddish-brown substance on the floor is a combination of feces and blood.
Yeah, we saw that.
Origin of these materials is unknown. The enclosure must be cleaned on a bi-weekly basis. Addendum 173-U. During a site-wide incursion on May 16, 2018, SCP-173 breached containment. A pair of D-Class personnel were able to lure the object into SCP-914's containment chamber. It is believed that the personnel were attempting to destroy SCP-173 by utilizing SCP-914's rough setting. During this attempt, one of the individuals became trapped within SCP-914's input chamber alongside SCP-173. The other D-Class changed the object's setting to 1-to-1 and activated the machine before escaping. SCP-173 survived the process and was apparently unharmed. However, its physical appearance is now altered. The trapped D-Class was not recovered. And this is audio log 173-U1. During the breach, it appears that a pair of D-Class lured 173 into 914's containment cell. I've looked over the surveillance logs, and it appears the original plan was to simply enclose it in the chamber and lock the door. There was a complication when the younger of the two became trapped in the input booth alongside 173.
Interesting.
Seemingly in a panic, the older D-Class attempted to try and free the younger D-Class. But being inexperienced in operating 914, he started pressing or twisting any button or dial he could. The older D-Class accidentally activated 914 on the 1-to-1 setting. Judging by the security footage, this wasn't his intention, as the older D-Class was observed to be extremely distressed and immediately fled the containment chamber. The problem is that there is a lot about this version of SCP-173 we don't understand. It appears to behave in a similar manner as before.
It's got a creepy looking face.
The other D-Class learned the hard way, but the full extent of the physical changes are still under review. Testing indicates it does not have any new abilities beyond the facial patterns altering over time, which seems to be purely cosmetic as far as we've observed. They don't seem to reflect SCP-173's mood or intent. The physical appearance has drastically changed as well. We'll keep testing until we're sure that these cosmetic changes aren't indicative of anything else.
Turns out the rebar actually is underneath there. You know what? I always could never figure it out. How they knew rebar was under there. I guess we'll never know. Anyway, thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye. You know what? I kind of miss the little peanut.
Why does he get the nickname the Little Peanut? This article was written by Moto42, 26 July 2008. Oh, damn it. Visuals provided by SPC Containment Breach. So, this is a game,
like to give
right?
A special thank you to Bob, the reclusive extrovert.
Bob. Gonna give some stuff to Bob. Okay, so, if I'm not mistaken, there is a game about this, right? This is something I probably want to try to play on my Twitch stream. I think a lot of people said this stuff is free. 173 game. Okay, so yeah, I guess there is a game. How do I download it? 173 is loose. SCP Containment Breach gameplay. And apparently you're able to download these from the actual website, right? So let's see, in-game. Where do I download it? I'll look into that more. But anyways, I kind of want to try that on my Twitch stream and see what happens. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. So there was more. I did learn more, or there was extra information from the Rubber to the Volgun. So I think the format can be kind of good. Let me know if you guys like that, because usually animated shorts or animated things are kind of shorter in length because they take so long to make. And then I could tie it up with the Volgun if the Volgun's videos aren't too crazy long as well. I just thought the link went pretty well, timing-wise. This, again, it reminds me a lot of the Weeping Angels. They're pretty much in the same category, and I like it. Although I'm very curious on how it keeps multiplying, and I'm curious about the video thing. Like, can you watch it from a video? And if that's the case, can it still move and stuff? You know what I mean? That's one of my biggest questions. But, yeah, this is awesome. So I think next time I will be trying to maybe go back to 096, or somebody told me to check out a video on the GOC by the Exploring series. I haven't checked out the Exploring series. That is one of the biggest websites a lot of people talk to check out. So, or I should say YouTube channels. So I might be checking that out next, which is the GOC. And yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. Like I said, I love diving into this. I love learning about other things. But I heard Weeping Angels. I had to come check out 173. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first SCP, correct? Let me know that in the comment sections down below. But that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button because it helps out the channel. If you want to eventually see me play the SCP game, come check out my Twitch channel, hit that follow button, turn on notifications. And of course, if you want stupid content, go check out my TikTok because I love uploading random shit over there. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, JUICEbox. Remember to wake up in the morning and ask yourself something about my daily dose of juice. See you guys next time.